Hi, welcome to Vicky Makes and Builds. This is my long-awaited video on my experience of puzzling for 24 hours on the 5,000 piece Big City Collage puzzle by Ravensburger. Now, I'm sure most of you do, but if you don't know by now, I set myself this challenge for fun and to see if I could do it, but also to raise money for the charity Befrienders Worldwide, which is a global suicide prevention charity. Now, this was a pretty unique experience, so it took me a while to figure out how to present this to you. I actually had 3 cameras running on the day. So I had one on the ceiling, which was capturing the time lapse of the puzzle coming together, and I have released a full time lapse as a short on the channel. So if you haven't seen that yet, you can catch that over in my shorts. I also had my phone set up there, hanging off my shelf, which captured all of the live stream footage that I did throughout the day. I live streamed it once every 4 hours throughout the course of the build, and again, you can catch those on my channel. They are in a playlist of all the videos and lives I've done of this event. I will link that in the description below. So have a wee look at those if you haven't seen any of those yet. And the last camera I had was set up over in that corner, capturing footage of both the puzzle and myself building it in real time. Now, what I thought I would do in this video is focus mostly on that real time footage, because it's really the only footage that nobody has seen yet. We've seen the live streams, obviously, and we've seen some time-lapse footage of it, but nobody's really seen the real-time footage. Now, most of it is going to be speeded up. There aren't quite 24 full hours of recording. The camera would record for 2 hours and then it would stop. So first of all, there were some gaps where I didn't turn it back on again quite quickly enough, but also I can't really give you a 24-hour long video, so a lot of this will be speeded up, but I will be slowing it down at certain key points in the build, times like when I talk about the sorting and how I've gone about doing that, other times like when I'm starting to feel tired, or when I maybe start dancing to some music, or, you know, where anything sort of fun or significant is happening, then I will obviously slow it down, but a lot of this footage will be speeded up. So I really just want to try and give you a good sort of comprehensive overview of the whole experience of doing it, and stay tuned till the end because I'm going to be putting up a reel of other people's pictures, photos, things that you did while I was doing this puzzle. Some people built this puzzle along with me, other people built other puzzles and puzzled along with me. So stay tuned to the end and I'll show you those pictures as well. And let's just dive in, shall we? Alexa, set a 5K timer for 24 hours.
5K. Timer, 24 hours, starting now.
Alexa, play Vicky's playlist on Spotify.
Vicky's playlist on Spotify.
So the sorting begins in earnest, and the first thing I did was to put on some music. There I'm telling you what I'm listening to, because this happens to be my favourite song, November Rain by Guns N' Roses, and this is the first you'll see of some of my headbanging and singing. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Unfortunately, I can't play the actual song for copyright reasons, but if you know the song, this is my favourite part of the song, where Slash is doing his guitar solo. So you might even be able to pick out, read my lips and see which bit I'm singing as well. But anyway, the first, shall we say, dancing of this particular video. All right, so here is actually where I take my very first short break. It was a bathroom break, and I'd had 2 coffees at this point, so that was going to be fairly obvious. But in just a second, I'm about to explain what my process is with the sorting. So I am still sorting. It's 1 hour and 8 minutes in. And I know there are missorts here. This is not quite as simple to sort as I first thought. I decided not to do a detailed sort on the sky. The sky is one giant pile and I will tackle it later. The problem with a detailed sort at the beginning is I just can't do it. I can't do it. I just don't do well with detailed sorts, and I feel like I need to stop building. You know, and the sky is going to come second. The sky can be resorted or micro-sorted later on. And I feel like this is the way forward for me personally. There's a few big piles here. I'll just briefly try and talk you through them as I go. And I'm getting used to what my piles are and where they are at this point. The few things throwing me, but overall definitely not as detailed a sort as I at first imagined. So I have a pile of pieces for the sky. I have the red sails on the boats at the bottom. They just really stand out. It's quite a small pile, but they really stand out. I have the clock on Big Ben. But the rest of that building is in a more generic pile. I have the temple with the blue domes, which I think might be in Turkey, perhaps. I've got the water that reflects the Taj Mahal, although that has been mis-sorted. It took me a while to realise what those pieces were. I've got some white kind of brick pieces that I believe are part of the Great Wall of China. I've got a pile for the Eiffel Tower. I've got a pile for the Statue of Liberty. I've got a pile of ancient monument stone. And I've got a pile of more modern, more kind of architected buildings, but still sort of stone. There's an elephant next to the Taj Mahal. I've got a few of those pieces, but a few of those also got mis-sorted. I've got the stamps piles down here. The stamps are quite big. They're jumping out. They're really obvious. So I'm separating those. They're not going in the sky pieces. And I've got greenery and edges. Oh, I have another piece, another pile I never mentioned. That is like the Asian area in the top right, where Stonehenge is. And that is one of the piles I'll probably start with. I'll start with edges, but then I'll start with piles that are obvious, with minimal mis-sorting. So that Asian area in the top right corner will probably come together pretty fast. The sailboat at the bottom. There's a building bottom left that I'll build. That was pretty obvious. It's got like yellow tiled roof and quite distinctive architecture. Not sure the name of the building. So I've got some ideas running through my head about where to start. There's a lot of dust here, but I knew that was going to be the case. And it is okay. So I'm just still sorting away here, as you can see. What I tried to do is put piles straight into boxes because I knew I was going to need to be able to move those boxes off the table fairly quickly. A lot of time when I sort big puzzles, I'll just have the piles out on the table and then move them after, but I just wanted to be a bit more efficient with this one. The piles that are on the table are, I think, ones that I intend to do first, so they ended up on the table. 9:29. Finish sorting. Okay, so even though I attempted to be more efficient by putting stuff in boxes, I still had to do some moving around here, but not as much probably as if I'd done it all on the table. So now the building starts, and I was so happy that the building had started. Here you've got some overhead footage. Now I'll explain why I've done this and will do it occasionally throughout the video. The camera I was using to record the real-time footage, this camera that you can see here, it's a brand new camera, and I thought I had it all set up on manual so that it would just do what I'd set it to do. Unfortunately, some of the manual settings were on auto, so I think this might have had like auto white balance or something on. And so what you get sometimes is flickering where it goes bright and then dark. Depending on where I'm moving around in the room, it'll adjust. So there are some times where it gets quite bad, and I'll maybe just replace it with some of the overhead footage, which thankfully I also shot when I was doing this. Mostly it's this one, and you will see a bit of flickering here and there, but if it gets really bad, then I will just switch to that top-down angle. So onto the puzzle. I've built a lot of the small sections, which is usually my MO when I'm puzzling. This green stamp actually came together a lot slower than I was expecting. Hi, Claire.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, so it works well.
It does, yeah, that's brilliant. I haven't put my phone up on the stand yet, but that's okay. I've got a few minutes. I just got my iPad out and I was going to hit go when I saw you come in.
Yeah, I'll just shut up and you keep going what you need to do. And,
no, it's fine. I can talk. I'm currently flipping pieces over. And it's yeah, because I was working on a bit at the top of the puzzle, so I was on the opposite side of the table, and then my alarm went off to live stream, and I thought well, I need to move down to the bottom of the table, so I've literally just got a new pile out to make a start on, and I'm just flipping over pieces at the minute. So
well done. I can't believe it. Are you finished sorting?
Yes, I've finished sorting, thankfully, but ow, oh, sorry, I just banged my knee. It's not a very detailed sort. I mean, some of it is and some of it isn't. But I'm all right with it. And I'm just getting on with it. It's weird though. It's weird trying to do a large puzzle quickly.
Yeah, it would be.
But it's good. It's good.
I just wouldn't know where to start to try and do it quickly, and it'd just be one big mind-blowing thing.
I know. It's yeah, feeling a bit the same myself, but I'll get into the flow with it. I will. It's just reminding myself to just sort of be calm, if you see what I mean, and not go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, you know, it'll be fine. So.
Can't believe it, 4 hours in already, Vicky.
I know, don't remind me. I'm like, oh.
Oh, well.
Is it?
I can't believe it. I'm like sorting another puzzle and I'm like, oh goodness, I need to sit down. I need to.
I know. I think I'm just. I don't honestly know what I expected, where I expected to be at this point. I really didn't. So I'm just like, well, hopefully this is good.
It'll be fine. And it doesn't matter, whatever, you know, you're raising money.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Great.
I'm going to put my phone
I'll
up.
leave you to breathe now, hey, and before you get on.
Yeah, I'll stick my phone up just now and yeah, hit go. Hopefully there'll be lots of people there to say hi.
There is already, yeah.
Oh, is there? Right, okay, so I'm up on my chair. I have to stand on the chair to do this. So now we come to the time of the first, or I should say second live stream for this. The first one actually took place before I started the puzzle. So this was the first of the live streams where I had somebody reading the chat to me and I was actually doing the puzzle. So I'm not going to show you much live stream footage because they're already up on YouTube for you to see, but I thought you might like to see that little bit of behind the scenes footage where I am chatting to Claire. What I would do for the live streams is I would set an alarm on my Echo device, which is actually down there, and I bought it especially for this event. When the alarm goes off, which I set at 10 to the hour, I would stop puzzling, I would get my iPad out, and I would wait in the Discord voice channel for the reader to join. In this case, it was Claire from Australia. Claire, you were brilliant. Thank you so much for all your help. Now, Claire and all the other readers as well would join typically about 5 to the hour, so we would have a little bit of time to talk first before I actually went live. I would pop my phone up then on the stand, which you would have just seen there, and I actually had to stand on a chair in order to do that. The live streams were actually amazing and I was so happy I did them, but also I was happy with how I did them. Firstly, they were such a boost. Now, I was still feeling quite lively at this point, only 4 hours into the 24. I was puzzling finally after 2.5 hours of sorting. I had no aches and pains yet, but overall I was feeling like I was going slow. Now that might sound crazy to some of you because I had done the sorting pretty quickly. I was quite pleased with the sorting and I had actually put some small sections together at this stage. But on the flip side to that, psychologically, the way my mind was working, I was also already 4 hours into the build and I couldn't really believe how fast the time seemed to go by. And I don't really have any previous experience of this to be able to tell whether my progress was any good or not, whether it was any indication that I could complete this puzzle in 24 hours. So one thing that was lovely about the live streams is it was great to get that feedback from you all, to hear you all saying, gosh, I can't believe you started building already, or gosh, I thought you'd still be sorting, or you've done the edge already, or like you're doing so well. Getting that feedback really was a boost and it really took away that psychological kind of self-doubt that I was getting because I just didn't know what would have been a good progress at this stage. So I was feeling encouraged. There was a great and positive vibe in the chat. Many of you had got up really early and set alarms to watch all these live streams, which I really appreciated. A lot of you donated super thanks and gifted memberships, which I was over the moon about, so thank you so much for that. And the other thing that I really loved was the useful and practical information that people were sharing as well, without having to be asked by me. There was just a genuine sense of just togetherness and community like there always is with the puzzling community. But for example, I think I had referred to a couple of areas of the puzzle, but I was aware you couldn't see the poster. And so Ocean put a link in to the box image so people could go and look at the box image and see what I was talking about. I know Sam and some other people were giving me updates on the amount that had been raised for Befrienders Worldwide at that stage. So that was really great to know as well. And just all that help and support and encouragement, it really made such a huge difference. And I found myself really looking forward to the next stream. I was worried at first that it was going to be a distraction, that it was going to stop me puzzling and maybe make me feel a bit put off, but it was the opposite, completely the opposite. And I was so happy that I had decided to do it this way and that I had it set up to do it all throughout the whole event. So I'll continue on with the video now, just stopping to describe how I'm feeling, letting you know what's happening, and so on. All right, so after that second live stream with Claire, I went back up to the top of the puzzle and I got back on with that green stamp. Like I said, not as easy as I thought it was going to be. The pieces were very recognisable. I had almost all of them picked out. Very easy to sort, but unfortunately, just not as easy to put together as I thought. But the initial shape sorting helped. You just saw Jasper whiz in there and grab the cat. I can't remember why Jasper came to see me, but I don't suppose it really matters anyway. The cat got through and he had to come and get Grace out again, but that's fine. So just continuing on with the stamp, and then I move on to the middle stamp, but I don't do the third stamp over on the top right just yet. That comes a little bit later. Stop. Alexa, make an announcement.
What's the announcement?
Freya, can you please make me a coffee?
Announcing.
Freya, can you please make me a coffee? Alright, so that was another handy thing about the Echo device. It basically means I can make announcements and the announcement will come through on other Echo devices in the house, of which I have 2. So I asked Freya for that particular one, and here she is bringing it to me. So that was really handy. So it was just really to show you these little stoppages now and again where the kids helped me out a lot and just brought me things, refreshments and stuff. And I just fancied a third coffee there. That will be the last coffee that I have today though. I'm working on the Asian section in the top right here, and it's Osaka in Japan. This is the first time I'm building on a board. I do a little bit of reaching over, but mostly I'm trying to build it on the board so I don't have to reach over quite as much or bend too much. This is the first bit really that's sort of in the middle of the puzzle, so that's what I started to do here. Oh, here you can see a little bit more headbanging. I think I might be listening to the song Addicted to Love here by Robert Palmer, so got a bit of a head bop going on there to the guitars. But this bit of the puzzle was my favourite. I can say that with certainty. It was the brightest, most colourful, just lots of writing, lots of different features I could sink my teeth into. It was just a really enjoyable bit of the puzzle to do. And once it was together, which didn't take too long, it was a good big chunk of the puzzle done. So it felt good to do. Jess? Jess? You bringing my lunch home? Can I give you these? There's coffee in the bottom of that, so don't spill. So as you can see, Jasper also helped me out a lot too. He brought me my lunch, which was a sandwich and a hard-boiled egg and a drink. The hard-boiled egg I ate straight away, but the sandwich actually didn't get eaten for a little while. I don't know why. I was just getting into my puzzling. I'd got into the Osaka bit, and I'd done that third stamp by now as well, which actually attached to the Osaka section of the puzzle, before then moving on to the blue pieces of the Statue of Liberty. Now, the Statue of Liberty was actually harder than I expected. There were some parts of it that actually belonged to the domes of the blue mosque, some parts of it that belonged to the water in the bottom right. I also didn't have a lot of pieces. There was a lot of pieces that were in the sky pile that I later discovered, and I think that's what made this harder to put together. I was looking for pieces that just weren't there. Again, I was building it on a board because it was the middle of the puzzle. I found it a bit easier that way. I actually had some sections building up on the board, as well as on the foam board. So I'd slowed down here, and I mean, you can even see it's speeded up, and I'm still not really putting pieces in. So yeah, it started to get a bit tricky at this point. Why can't I find these pieces? This obvious. Why am I not seeing them? Have I just not sorted it right? It goes there at least. I don't really know how it attaches, but it goes there. What do I do next? The Eiffel Tower? Do I keep persevering with this? Persevering, yes. That was definitely the word. I really was just kind of staring at the pieces in the end. I wasn't really sure what to do next, but the Eiffel Tower seemed like a good way to go. And I got the pieces out ready, but before I did that, I thought, right, it's time to take a break, eat my sandwich. And even while I was eating, I wasn't puzzling, but I was looking at the puzzle, I was looking at the poster, I was making plans. And then suddenly it was time for live stream 3. Hello.
Hi, Vicky.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, not bad. Not bad. Getting there. I can't believe I'm another 4 hours in. That's fine.
Yeah, it's flew by.
I know, it really has. Oh well. I'll let everyone be the judge of how well I'm doing, because I really don't have a clue. But I've done a bit more.
I'm sure you're doing good.
I just wolfed down a sandwich, so this is kind of a break before this.
Isn't it a little late?
Yeah, well, I asked my son to bring it through at 12:30 or something, and then I just carried on puzzling, and I was like, well, better eat my sandwich. So yeah, it is a wee bit. But I was starting to slow down, so I thought, yeah, I need food, because I was trying to do the statue.
Time for a break.
Yeah, I was trying to do the Statue of Liberty, and it was just I just was not seeing pieces, so I was like, right, I'm going to stop now.
The brain needs their food.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to put my phone up.
Ocean is saying, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. The only thing I'm really feeling physically is just a slight soreness at the back at the top. But it's not huge. I'm just stopping and stretching now and again, and that's fine. But otherwise, I'm doing great. I feel fine. I'm enjoying puzzling. I'm getting to harder piles of pieces now. So, in the sense that, the piles are bigger, they're perhaps not quite as well sorted. I'm currently working on the Eiffel Tower. I just got the pieces out to do that. I was doing the Statue of Liberty, and unfortunately, I kind of slowed down a lot on it, so I just left it as it was and thought I'll move on to another thing, and then I'll go back to it. But I'm feeling good. Yeah, I've been feeling good. Just been listening to music as I've been puzzling, and it's been great. Okay, so if you watch the live streams, you'll know that at this point in the build, my neck was starting to hurt. In order to try and mitigate that, I was moving around more. So you'll see me doing more standing up when I'm puzzling. You might see me leaning across the table a bit, leaning on my elbows. You might see me standing up even just to do a bit that was right next to me. I'd be sitting down, I'd be walking around. I just tried to move more and stand and sit in different positions. Sometimes I would stand up straight just to stretch my back and neck. I would maybe have a drink while I did that, but whilst I was doing that, I wasn't just stopping puzzling. I was looking at the puzzle in front of me, planning what I might do next, strategizing. I had the poster up on the wall, so I was looking over at that, thinking about where I might go next. So there was still a puzzle plan going on in my head, even when my hands weren't necessarily putting pieces in, and I was just trying to just keep that movement going, keep that stretching, so that it helped with my neck, because it was starting to feel uncomfortable at this point. What I also felt during this time was my very first sort of lull in the whole process. I felt like I hit my first wall during this point in the build. And the neck pain I was experiencing wasn't really helping. And it's actually amazing how much that affected me psychologically. You know, how quickly the self-doubt starts to creep in again, because you're feeling this tiredness, you're feeling this pain, and you're thinking, I've still got another however many hours to go. And straight away, my mind was like, oh, you know, I don't know if I can do this and stuff like that. But I was also very aware I was going to hit a wall at some point. So what I tried to do was just try to keep myself G'd up and boosted. And the way I did that was to play dance music, quite poppy music, on my Echo device. Now, in case you didn't know, I am a dancer anyway. I teach ballroom and Latin dancing. I also teach line dancing every week. I like to dance, and some songs, some music will just make me move. It doesn't matter what the song is. If it's got a good beat to it, a good vibe, I will start moving. So that is the direction my brain went. Now, I'm obviously not going to start line dancing in here or ballroom and Latin dancing. There is literally no room to do any of that. But that doesn't mean I couldn't boogie. So really, what you're about to see is the first dancing during this 24-hour live stream. I played some poppy music, which unfortunately I can't play on the video. So it will be silent. It will have my own music over the top of it. Copyright reasons dictate that I'm not allowed to play the actual music that I was dancing to. But rest assured, it was upbeat and I was feeling the groove, and you will see me dancing. Now, it's going to look a little bit odd because it's really just kind of wiggling. I don't have much room for anything else. But also the camera angle, as you've seen up to this point, if I'm standing up, it chops my head off. So there's some headless dancing going on. So I'm hoping you won't be too freaked out by that. But there was, like, as daft as it might look, as silly as it might sound, there was a genuine reasoning and purpose behind doing this, and it was to keep myself going, and it actually worked. So I'm going to get back on with the video now, but just to say before I do, thank you so much to Ohana, who provided the reading for that last live stream. Alright, so please don't judge me. Yes, I was pouring myself a drink on the puzzle table, and I probably shouldn't have in hindsight. This is maybe making a few people uncomfortable. I do apologise. There were no spillages or accidents, so it works out fine. But I had to really just do everything in my puzzle room, things I wouldn't ordinarily do. So yeah, plus I was getting tired at this point, maybe not thinking straight, just moving. As you can see, I know it looks really weird because you can't see my head and you can't hear the actual music I was dancing to. This song, I believe the song I was dancing to was a pop song that came out a few years ago called Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke, and there's just something about that tune that just gets me dancing. So that's what I'm dancing to here. You'll see me put the occasional piece in. I'm also having a drink, and yeah, I'm just kind of like wiggling my way around to the chair so I can work on the Brandenburg Gate. And I do dance in the chair too. Those pieces in that box you can see on the table are my, they're building pieces, but they're more architected buildings, those pieces. So it's pieces that belong to, for example, Big Ben, that temple in the bottom left corner, the Brandenburg Gate, things that aren't ancient, like the Pyramid of Giza, that kind of thing. So I did have a lot of those separated. The Brandenburg Gate also had blue in it though, because of the horses on top. They were quite a blue colour, so a lot of those pieces actually were in my pile of Statue of Liberty pieces, which are on that black board you can see at the top of the table. So now here, I'm obviously finding that I'm missing a few pieces from those buildings in the corner, and I'm actually doing another sort, a more micro sort of all of the building pieces. So I'm just getting out a pile at a time, separating some piles, and at the same time as doing this, you'll see me doing a lot of gap filling. So you'll actually see the Pyramid of Giza, the top of that starting to come together. They were very bright pieces, very bright stone, so they kind of stood out. I was gap filling on the temple, I was gap filling on the Brandenburg Gate, I was pulling out more of Big Ben. I think I had a lot of Big Ben missing, so I was pulling those out. Big Ben's actually under the board I'm working on here, so I had just kind of had a pile at the side of those. Sometimes I would maybe find a piece of the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower pieces are shape sorted, and on that smaller board you can also see on the table. So I'd done a lot of shape sorting by this point. I was doing micro sorting, a lot of micro sorting, and just preparing to be able to more easily build during these later hours in the whole process. And I kind of was hoping that that would stand me in good stead, that I wouldn't be quite so overwhelmed by the big pile of building pieces that I had. So that's really what I'm doing here. Again, apologies for the slight flickering in the brightness. It's because I'm moving around and the camera keeps adjusting. I really wish I'd taken some time to figure that setting out. I didn't honestly know it was going to happen, to be fair, but I've tried to cover the worst parts up with the overhead time-lapse, but you will just see some of it. Oh, doing a bit more dancing here. I think I'm dancing to a Blur song here. Blur is a British band, and yeah, well, it's an older British band, around about the same time as Oasis they were big. Oh yeah, and also I had lots of boxes of pieces on the floor. They were starting to kind of follow me around the room, but having them on the floor was a little bit dangerous because, as you just saw there, I tripped over them sometimes. Oh, there I go again. Again, not sure what song I was listening to here. I think it might have been another Blur song. Had a few Blur songs come on. So, could have been that. Here we go. Here's me having a go at Big Ben. So you can see a big pile of pieces there that I'd sorted out that I hadn't really separated out of those more architected building pieces. So I'm starting to get Big Ben together here. One thing I also had going on at this point were a lot of random piles of pieces all over the board. Well, they weren't random, they were in specific places because I knew they belonged to a certain thing, but it was starting to look and feel a bit messy. So after this, you'll see me just starting to try and attempt to tidy some of them up a bit. And then before I knew it, it was time for live stream 4. I'm back for the 12-hour live. I can't believe I've been doing this that long. I'm definitely not halfway through this, but I have done a lot more. This is really filled out. All my pieces for this building are pretty much in. And this building behind it, which I think is the Brandenburg Gate, this is like really filled out. I've got some of the Eiffel Tower in and a few loose pieces there. Big Ben is coming together now over here. That pyramid starting to come together. Is quite bitty at the moment. It's gone into the bitty stages of building. So it doesn't look as though I've done a massive amounts, but I've been doing a lot of sorting as well, like resorting. So I've got some shape sorted pieces down here and some smaller piles of building pieces and that kind of stuff. So that is where I'm at just now. And I'd like to introduce SS, who's doing the commentary today. Hello, SS.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Vicky.
Hello, hello.
Soul Empress, how are you feeling? Current thoughts and feelings.
So the last 4 hours was hard. This has been the hardest 4 hours. Because I hit a bit of a wall about 4:30 for me, which was about half an hour after I finished the last live stream. I hit a bit of a wall and I was hungry and I needed a wee break. And yeah, my neck hurt. I hit a wall. So that was unpleasant, but I'm through that. I feel good again. I've got a little bit of a second wind. My son went and got me a pastry from the shop and I ate that, and that helped. And so, yeah, and then because I sort of slowed down and I was feeling sort of, my confidence kind of fell a bit because I was feeling that way. And so I felt, my thoughts were like, oh, what if I can't finish it and that stuff. But I do feel better now. I feel like I'm kind of back on a wee flow again. So hopefully I'm fine. I'm fine now. But this last 4 hours has been the hardest so far.
Purple Cat asks, how are your eyes feeling?
My eyes are okay. They are getting tired, I can tell. But they're okay at the moment, not too bad. So there was a gap in the footage here on my real-time camera recording, so I missed the whole of the setting up for the live stream and the live stream itself, so you don't unfortunately see any behind the scenes chat with SS. Sorry about that, SS, but thank you so much for all your help with this. You were brilliant as well. I thought I would show you here some of the time lapse of what I was doing during the live, because I'm not showing a great deal of the actual live streams themselves. You don't really see what I actually build. This one I actually got quite a lot done. This pile of pieces that I'm working on here it was in the greenery box, but it was the only bit of greenery that had red flowers in it, so it was really easy to pick out and came together really nicely. What I also picked out were several pieces from Stonehenge, which I'm about to now build at the top. Again, my camera did miss some of that out. So I thought I would show you this as part of the speeded up live stream footage. And then this is a photograph, or as best I could get, a screenshot of where I was at the end of that 4th live stream. So this would have been about the 12.5 hour mark. This is how much I'd put together. Again, quite a lot of just random pieces lying around, but they were strategically placed, so they were in parts of the puzzle where I felt that they belonged, and I just didn't feel like they needed to be moved. They were in the right place, so I left them there. So I didn't take photos as I went along, unfortunately, because I didn't really feel like I had the time. I just wanted to keep building. So a lot of the progress pictures you'll see are screenshots. But anyway, this is where I was at when I reached roughly the halfway mark of this 24-hour build. Alright, so I am going to leave it there for part 1. At this point, I am roughly halfway through the 24 hours. It's about 12.5 hours after that last live stream. I can honestly say that this point was the first time that I began to doubt whether or not I could finish the puzzle. I was halfway through the 24 hours, but I definitely was not halfway through the puzzle. Now, I know it doesn't quite work that way because you have sorting to do, you're going through a lot more pieces at the start, and in theory you get faster as you go along. but I wasn't as close to the halfway mark as I was hoping I would be, and I was starting to feel the fatigue setting in. I knew that the further in I got, the more tired I was going to feel, and I had already hit my first wall in the whole process, so I was feeling just a little less certain. But I was also feeling happy. I was enjoying the whole thing. I had been loving the live streams, really just getting to the point where I looked forward to the next live stream, even though I knew that meant I was another 4 hours in. The puzzle was fun. I was enjoying the puzzle. I had a plan. I had also shape sorted a lot of pieces and resorted through some of the bigger piles. So I was hoping that that would stand me in good stead for the remainder of the build, and I was feeling generally quite good. So I hope you've enjoyed this so far. Look out for part 2 coming up soon. At the end of that one, I'm going to be showing you a full time lapse of the puzzle and a puzzle pickup, a 5k puzzle pickup, which was quite exciting to do. Just to say that with regard to the fundraiser for Befrienders Worldwide, I had intended to close it off at the end of September. However, I also had intended to bring these videos out in September. They've got delayed a little bit, longer than I thought. So what I thought I would do is keep the fundraiser going until the end of October, just so that anybody who didn't know about this and is watching these now can donate if you wish. And the fundraiser is still there for you to donate. So what it is it's on GoFundMe, and the link for it is in the description. So if you'd like to donate, if you haven't already, then click on that link and it will take you to the fundraiser, and I will close it off at the end of October instead. At the moment, or the last time I looked, it was sitting at £2,290 raised for Befrienders Worldwide. So it has been an amazing thing to do, and you have all been amazing as well. Thank you all so much for your donations. So before I leave you with a reel of some of the puzzle along puzzles that you all did with me, thank you for sending those, by the way, for those of you that did. Before I leave you with that, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and please leave a comment. What did you think of this event? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun? Is this something you'd love to see me do annually maybe? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't subscribed to Vicky Makes and Builds yet, please do consider subscribing. And I will say thank you so much, happy puzzling, and I'll see you next time. Here's the reel. Enjoy.